Hey guys, Claire here, and today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about what my pregnancy has been like. I feel like it might be cropped out, but I'm pretty far along. I'm actually in my third trimester at this point. So looking at the end, it's the beginning of the end. And one thing I've learned during the pregnancy that's been really interesting is, unlike other medical conditions, because pregnancy is a medical condition, there's no universal experience. So unlike, say, a cold, for instance, where you kind of know what a cold means for people. Like, oh yeah, they'll feel under the weather, and some people will have a really bad cold or a not so bad cold, but you kind of understand the symptoms. Pregnancy is really specific. It has to do with your genetics, your baby, your hormones, your health, your environment. It just so many different experiences. Every pregnancy is so different, and even with speaking to women who have multiple children, the pregnancies of each child is completely different. So even though I've had this experience with James, my son, to be, I guess, weird to refer to him like that, but if I have other children, who knows? I've been incredibly lucky. I didn't have any morning sickness. I didn't have any first trimester issues, which is why I gained like 10 pounds in my first trimester, which I didn't know. No one tells you this. You're not supposed to gain weight in your first trimester because apparently you're vomiting your brains out, so you don't want to eat, so you don't gain weight. Not my life. I gained so much weight. And I've been reprimanded by my doctor, which was kind of bad. Only in the sense that I have, I guess I'd say, like, mild body issues a little bit, like no more than I feel like the next person, but to have your doctor tell you to, like, watch the weight gain, it's like, feels serious. So yeah, other than playing fast and loose with carbohydrates, the only other stuff in my pregnancy that's been kind of an imposition has been mild back pain. I learned that my ribs were changing their angle to make room for the baby. So that was wild. So I've been getting a lot of massages. Definitely something I would recommend is during pregnancy, definitely allow for self-care. I think women tend to valorize their misery, or at least that's been my personal experience, where, there seems to be this need to kind of feel really good about feeling like shit. Like I'm struggling so much and that makes this more meaningful and thus my experience is more important or something like that. And because I've had such an easy experience, like I haven't really had that, but I would say that you don't gain anything from being miserable while being pregnant if you can avoid it. I mean, most of it's like kind of thrust upon you. It's just your body going through processes. So if you can do anything to make it feel better, girl, do it. I wouldn't feel guilty if I ended up working from bed for half the day on my computer, if that was something I needed to do. Or, just knowing that, looking at my schedule, if I was like, I'm getting a little bit emotionally overwhelmed, I think I kind of need to create a little bit of space. And I recognize I'm speaking from a place of immense privilege because I work as a freelancer, and I'm very lucky because I kind of can make my own schedule, and I have a very supportive husband and a mom that lives 10 minutes away who wants to wrap me in cotton wool at all times, especially now that I'm pregnant with her grandchild. So I have a really amazing team around me. So I can only imagine that for women who have to work in an office or who have a 9-to-5 style job, how overwhelming and intimidating certain aspects of pregnancy can be. So feel free to kind of listen to your body, listen to your needs, and try to find ways to give yourself what you need. And don't feel guilty about it. Guilt doesn't gain you really anything, but being able to find positive resolutions to things like back pain or being emotionally overwhelmed, those are good things. The emotional thing's interesting because I've always been, I think I've spoken about the Myers-Briggs test, but I'm an INTJ, INFJ a little bit. So I tend to be very pragmatic. So for instance, like certain types of experiences, I'm like, that doesn't seem to serve a purpose, or I would describe it as unhelpful. So guilt and shame are ones like that, where it's okay to, if you do something wrong, feel regret, but you need to be able to move on, fix it, do your best to kind of reset the situation and move forward. Wallowing in victimhood is not a good place to be. And so for me with pregnancy, I was really surprised by how emotional I got. During pregnancy, it's like a roller coaster ride that you don't really, you're on the ride. You're not the one, you're not the carny. You're not the one operating it. So I was really surprised by how overwhelmed I would get. I texted my mom a few weeks ago, just like asking her, I'm like, in your third trimester, did you cry all the time? Like, was that normal? Like, just that anything would make you cry in like a positive way, like, you know, like a, oh my God, I'm so moved kind of way. And she was with all of her girlfriends and they were joking that, yeah, all of them had a different thing that would trigger it. Like my mom, it was commercials. She couldn't get through a commercial if there's a kid in the commercial, just immediate, like just losing it. For me, it's, yeah, it's like movies or TV shows or, oh no, the radio. If I listen to news stories where it's like a mom and a child in peril or something, I just will like completely lose it. Craig even has started doing that. He watch a movie and if there's a father-son dynamic, I'll see him kind of, you know, getting a little misty, which is kind of cute. And I guess another thing I've learned or, you know, would have advice on is, you know, if you're pregnant, you have a husband or a male partner, or honestly, I guess any partner, because if you're the one carrying the child there and you have a partner, there's always going to be this kind of, I don't know, a little bit of a barrier or a disconnection there because you're going through a very physical experience carrying the child where, you know, you have a lodger in your body and they're kind of on the outside looking in a little bit. And for the first trimester, and the second trimester, because I wasn't really showing and I'm kind of this like can-do person, for Craig, it was really funny because, you know, I'd have to bug him every now and then, like, you actually have to carry this for me because the doctor said so. And he had to kind of like rewire, oh yeah, you're pregnant, I forgot about that. And it wasn't until he could feel James moving that I think he really realized, oh, I'm really gonna be a dad. Oh my God, it's a real thing. It's happening right in front of me. And to me, it was really interesting because it made me kind of, I don't know, I had like a lot of mixed emotions there because part of me felt bad in the sense that I was like, oh, it's a sort of a shame that they can't participate as intimately in the process as we can, because if you're carrying the child, you really can feel all of it. I've struggled with disconnection during the pregnancy because it's been so easy. So I forget I'm pregnant until I walk past a reflective surface and I'm like, oh God. And then for Craig, getting to feel him and then seeing me grow and then being there for the ultrasounds, I think really has been a really great experience for him. I've been trying to create ways for Craig to be more connected to it and to make sure to include him in it. So even if it's something that feels like, oh, this is my problem, you know, like my back pain or, you know, being really weirdly hungry, like where there's a voracious hunger will come over me, just letting him help me and letting him give, because I think that ends up being something where he gets to feel connected to the process. And one of the other things I'd say is that if you're pregnant in a partnership, definitely take time to have a baby moon of some kind. Like Craig and I, we had these big ambitions of like, oh, let's go somewhere awesome and blah, blah, blah. But then like Zika ruined it. We ended up we're going for a long weekend, you know, to one of our favorite places, Santa Barbara. So it doesn't have to be a big to-do, but it's so important to get that time. And I would say, see how late in the game you can have your baby moon. I would definitely say the beginning of your third trimester, or like kind of the beginning half of your third trimester is probably a good time to go because, you know, you're nesting, you're doing mom stuff, you've had your baby shower, like a lot of the stuff's kind of behind you and you're just looking at the future of, oh my God, a child's gonna come and kind of disrupt all of this. And having that time to be, just to reconnect and relax and turn off your phone and stop worrying about, you know, the day-to-day stuff and just be with, you know, your partner before this big thing happens. I think that that's a really special thing. I'm excited about getting to take that time. And honestly, like I'm at a point now where, because I feel him, my nickname for him is a rotisserie chicken because he doesn't really kick. He just is like a Costco chicken. He's like on a rotisserie, you know, inside my belly doing this at all times. So, you know, But I'm really excited to meet him, which is weird, but he's been in me for so long now that I kind of look down and I just get excited about, you know, what's he gonna be like? I've had a bunch of people ask, do you think he's gonna be a redhead? Because I'm a redhead. I know I don't look like much of a redhead now, but I was like a redhead as a kid. And I have no idea. But I'm curious. I can't wait to find out. Also really fun. I love how the animals have responded to the baby in my belly. It's hilarious. Buster sleeps on my belly and it's the cutest thing. I think it's just so darling. He follows me around. It's so cute. It's been a really good time. I was joking with Craig, if the delivery is anything like the pregnancy, we might end up having way more kids than we thought we were gonna have. Because it's been like, I basically have gotten to hang out and eat French fries. So it's like not a bad deal whatsoever. Anyway, but that's been my experience so far. I mean, there's so many other things, like, you know, try to avoid the internet if you can in certain ways. I made the mistake of finding out that America has the highest maternal mortality rate related to giving birth. So yeah, that was, you know, and freaking out that I had preeclampsia and freaking out that, you know, what if I have gestational diabetes and all of that stuff. So if you can avoid the completely unnecessary freakouts, I would definitely recommend that. And don't worry if your feet get so swollen that you look down at your lower half of your body and think it's Ms. Piggy's body. Apparently that's normal. It is so terrifying. I had front rolls. I had ankle rolls, like an elephant foot, like just really weird. But that's, once again, a small inconvenience compared to some of the gnarly shit I have heard other ladies go through. So I'm, you know, like, thank you, like, good Lord. Anyway, but that has been my story so far. Yeah, ask me questions in the comments. I would love to hear about your experiences. This is my first, so I'm nervous and excited and I have no idea what I'm doing. So any kind of helpful sort of encouragement would be great. And yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on how things transpire, but definitely stay tuned. Definitely gonna be posting stuff here and on the blog. And thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.